Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Thank you for joining for a special midnight live, y'all. Let's just get to it. Yesterday, we did a live exposing the fact that Diddy's case, right, is still alive and well with the Jane Doe. Now, we are eagerly awaiting what Tony Busby is going to say. Tony Busby has not taken on any new clients. He literally has his hand full with this one. Okay, what is going on? New evidence has presented themselves. It seems like I did a little research and I think I might have found the key to the case. I want to revisit some of the evidence from last night and clarify. And on top of that, NBC News is being looked at in the point of bias in that interview. Again, I'm not saying they didn't do a good job, but they did a good job as if it was a hit piece. Okay. So where do you guys want to start? Did you guys watch my live from last night? If not, let me just tell you this, right? I feel like a lot of people are being unnecessarily cruel to Jane Doe. Why? Because she said she is autistic. You heard her talk. She is clearly on the spectrum, okay? Now, a couple of experts have come out and said that it sounds like with her degree of autistic impairment, couple of things. Autistic people, when they are not good liars. They are not good liars at all. If you've ever worked around anyone with autism, you would know they are not good liars. You can ask them the same question over and over and over. They will not lie. They will give you the same answer. Okay. On top of that, we are side-eyeing Tony Busby and a few other people for letting this woman who appears, well, she, not even appears, she says she has some type of cognitive decline or impairment as it was, get in and talk to NBC alone when they are asking her questions. Now, why is it? I'm going to get into this groundbreaking evidence, right? And we're going to revisit the evidence from last night because some people in the back need me to go over it again, right? Let's start with NBC News first, okay? Just bear with me and then we'll do the reveal. With NBC News, and also a lot of stuff has been buried in the archive. With NBC News, okay? They know when dealing with sensitive subject matters and sensitive topics, there is a way you do stuff. There's also a way you phrase stuff. The fact that you did this huge interview and you only gave us sound bites. For instance, the father, what about the father? The father drove 5 hours. We don't know. And this just goes into any thinking person. When I ask you a question, like, I'm on live. Sorry. When I ask you a question and I say, like, yo, what's your favorite ice cream? Right? And you answer, I like maple pecan cardamom, Alex's ice cream. If I take that soundbite and I plug it in anywhere in the conversation without any context or reference, you can't really make an educated guess. And I'm saying this from someone that follows legal cases. I'm saying this as somebody that reads. I'm saying this from someone that graduated 3rd grade in America, right? If you don't have context, nothing else matters. For instance, the way they said when asked about picking his daughter up, the father said, I don't think I really remember that. How did you ask him? What did you ask him? What was the context? Did you do a follow-up or did you just simply grab these news bites? NBC News should have handled this, in my opinion, with more care, especially when the fact you were talking to somebody with cognitive impairments. Now, I know some people don't care because their faves are on the line, but right now we are talking about the case with Diddy. In this PowerPoint presentation, it's not to convince you guys that Diddy is going to get the electric chair because it's not legal. The whole point of saying this is the case will move forward. There is enough evidence, okay? So just to give you guys a quick recap from last night, there is a case called Pelosa. It was the Archdiocese. It literally set a precedence in New York State second appellate. Now, I know this is in federal court, but second appellate is very persuasive, especially when the federal law does not speak directly to this. What does that say? That when you are dealing with somebody with the CVA, the Childhood Victim Act, right? Their recollection of times dates, places, and maybe even people does not have to be spot on. Now this is not binding, but it is pervasive, right? I'm sorry, persuasive. It does not have to be spot on. Why? Because everybody that actually studies this, that has letters behind their name, everybody actually says, no, when you deal with this type of stuff, there's missing memory blanks. Okay. Abraham last night on live, I don't want to put you on blast, but Abraham shared a harrowing journey and said that all he remembered was fighting to get away and then running down the hallway. Nothing else about the incident. When you go through traumatic things, okay, ask anyone that's been to war, ask anyone that's been unfortunately abused, ask anyone that's been into any situation where their fight or flight reflex is high key, you really don't remember that many details. On top of that, if you are a victim of a traumatic SA, your mind compartmentalizes, your mind blocks things off. Add that into something being 25 years ago. Now, people, naysayers might say, oh, what? So what? You mean to tell me? Yes. I don't mean to tell y'all anything. I mean the actual experts that run the court system. And I don't give a damn what anybody on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, or whatever is saying. I don't even care what I'm saying. The people that make the laws, the people that run the court system, the people that service these vulnerable individuals, all in the research, the scientific research all says the same thing. I don't care if this doesn't align with somebody's version of, no, that's not fair. This is what it is. So when you take the fact that it happened 25 years ago, much like Palooza with the Archdiocese, it's a pivotal case. I talked about it in detail on my last live. Go look at it. It's in the very beginning. We're going to move on in a second. I just want to set it up and cue this up for anybody that might not know, right? The whole point of the matter is when you, one second, y'all. The point of the matter is when you line all that up, okay? When you line all that up, they actually say that you don't need to give specifics. It just needs to be within 4, maybe 6 years of when it actually happened, because trauma makes you forget. Now, why Palooza is also so pivotal in the second appellate of New York State Court is it also sets a precedence that they will give that same grace for people that have cognitive impairment, mental impairment. You get that same grace. I find it odd that so many people are being so cruel and vicious and nasty over a woman that is clearly, first of all, if she didn't have any cognitive impairments, people still can't remember every single thing that happened 24 years ago. Tell me what happened to you 24 years ago, word for word. I know you think you remember. Now, we can argue that Tony Busby should have did a better job prepping this woman and shouldn't have put her out to the wolves. But we can also argue that MSNBC did, to me, a shit job of actually this groundbreaking report. It seemed like they just wanted to get the bites. So anyway, in New York State, if you are cognitive impairment, or if it happened to you decades ago and you are a child, the court will allow the case to proceed, right? It does not mean you're going to win the case, but they will allow the case to proceed. Why? Because the experts and the people that study this all agree memory goes missing in cases like this, and you have to allow for it, okay? So I say all this to say, okay, if you guys were watching live yesterday, 2003 is the year I believe all this happened. 2003. Now, people, I understand, would rightly doubt it, right? That it would happen in 2003. But let me just flip through these receipts really quick and let me then get to the surprise witness of what's going to blow this case out the water. And I think I found a clue that is going to literally put all this in order. All right. Are y'all ready for this? Yes, I went back to investigating. And yes, I got things. And yes, also, I found out because I was looking through the archives. I mean, like the Library of Congress archives. Diddy has been running amok for years and he scrubbed a lot of information off the internet. However, the Library of Congress remembers. Now, interestingly enough, right? A lot of Diddy's worst behavior happened while he was at MTV. Remember a few months ago, 5 or 6 months ago, when MTV decided out of the blue to delete all their archives, all their work, all their video footage, all the articles? MTV was a pop culture lexicon. Their articles should have been in the Library of Congress. If you guys don't know what the Library of Congress is, every time something is printed, made, um, that is some type of media, right? Print, digital, whatever. And it is notable, and notable for whatever reason, it goes into the Library of Congress. That will be America's lasting legacy if these drones flying over New Jersey actually have their way with America, okay? They declined to do that. They could have easily kept it up. Storage is just a fraction of the cost. They could have given it to the Library of Congress for them to store. Instead, they chose to delete everything. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. But it is funny that Diddy is about to go down. Some would say he's already down. And MTV, who would have the receipts to pull in Viacom, MTV, Comcast, um, I don't know, all that stuff, right? The parent companies and everything, pull them in and cost them billions, mysteriously just delete anything. But I don't think it's just Diddy. I think there might have been a lot of stuff from that time, because I was talking to my friend the other day, right? And she was saying that, we'll get into that later. I will say this. I think people are forgetting how grimy the early 2000s were. And if you go to those blogs and you talk to other people, it was normal back then, from 2000 to I don't know, definitely in the 90s, early 2000s, for grown men to have their little young John, to have their little sweet thing, to have their little bad John that's 15, maybe 16 years old, that follows them around slavishly, but that's what they keep. America, and definitely the hip hop community, to dating 15 and 16-year-olds evolved greatly from the 90s to the 2000s. From 2000 to 2005, they still had it, but around 2006, 7, 8, from what I see in the blog articles, it became very, very weird to be sitting there with a little kid. R. Kelly was R. Kelly for so long because it was acceptable. Everybody had their little young John. And by everybody, we ain't saying any names, but whatever, right? But getting back to this MTV thing, right? One of the things under question, because due to copyright, I had to cut this out of my last live. It doesn't matter. I am coming back and dropping receipts. Good Charlotte, Joel and Benji Madden. There's these two boys right there with the sticky blicky mask and the eyeliner, right? They were supposed to, Jane Doe said she saw them at the MTV Music Awards, okay? Now, if you go into, this is them right here. If you go into their archives, right? You definitely see that, and this is from their tour archives, even though it's very hard to find. They were actually at the VMAs 2003. They actually won the Viewers' Choice Award. Benji Madden was 100% there in 2003. Now, why we can admit there's no way they could be there in 2000, because as you see in 2000, well, wrong screenshot, but in September 7th, 2000, they were actually on tour. For 2000 VMAs at Radio City Music Hall, it actually took place on September 7th. I do agree it's a tight thing. I don't know if they would fly in and out for Diddy's party, but that doesn't mean that they didn't. However, you see it right now on their tour record archives that on August 28th, 2023, Good Charlotte, including Good Charlotte, including Benji Madden, were actually booked to actually perform. There was Coldplay, Beyonce, Black Eyed Peas, Metallica, Britney Spears. This was the year that Madonna tongue kissed Britney and Christina Aguilera. Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Madonna, Christina Aguilera, Jay-Z, Sean Paul. Wait, hold on. Was this a VMAs where Beyonce came out of the ceiling singing Baby Boy? and you heard Sean Paul's voice, Sean Paul, Sean Paul, but Sean Paul was sitting in the audience going like this. Beyonce performed Baby Boy, which was her breakout hit, without Sean Paul, while Sean Paul sat in the audience of the Video Music Awards. I think this is the Video Music Award. I think, right? Anyway, Christina Aguilera, Jay-Z, Sean Paul, Mary J. Blige, Missy Elliott, Good Charlotte, Method Man, Redman, and Dave Navarro. Okay? And Dave Navarro. So from this, and I'm just going to take you through this really quick, we've established that Benji Madden of the band Good Charlotte attended the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards. Again, the VMAs can be Video Music Awards or the video or the movie VMAs movie awards, whatever. The point of it is we're talking about the MTV Music Awards at Radio City Music Hall. Benji Madden actually performed. What proof is there, since people are even doubting, because people are like, no, you don't understand, Joel and they weren't in the same band. Again, I'm just walking out through the receipts before we get to the cliffhanger, okay? Here is a picture from 2003 MTV Video Music Awards rehearsal days with Benji Madden, okay? He was definitely performing. He was even caught rehearsing. Keep all this in mind because it's going to be very, very important at the end. Welcome to the tooth. We then get to, okay, well, what about Diddy? Was Diddy there? Because people are, listen, because one picture labeled wrong is getting everybody in a tither. Let's get into what telling things that Chris Rock had to say at the 2003 Video Music Awards.
2003 MTV Video Music Awards.
Okay.
Yeah, but my favorite show on MTV is Making the Band with P. Diddy. It's the best show on all of television because you get to see Puff Daddy be a mentor to the children. And who better than Puff Daddy to show the kids wrong from wronger? That's right, you get to see Puff Daddy pass down great fatherly advice like,
listen. So anyway, let's get back into this, right?
see Puff.
Just to let you guys know, I was the first to break the story and I was the first to research it. So let's get that straight, right? But it doesn't matter. We can all share. But I know for a fact I was the first to break the story and I was the first to research it. So please hold your applause to the end. In any case, right?
Daddy passed down great fatherly advice like.
Okay. Now, at the end of the day, there has been some doubt because, just hear me out, guys, the photo records are being scrubbed from the internet. Even from Getty Images, they are being scrubbed. Last night when I went on live, I showed an image of Diddy at the 2003 MTV Movie Awards. However, again, you can see from these Getty Images, they are few and far between, but they definitely exist. On August 28th, 2003, singer Usher arrives at P. Diddy's MTV Video Music Awards after party at show on August 28th. Now, it's important to know that after the party is an after party, and after the party is probably whatever, right? It's important to know that the actual after party, even though Diddy is hosting this one, it is sponsored by MTV. Of course, nothing is jumping off. There is an after party or a freak off. How do we know? Well, I'm going to actually quote the articles and put them on the screen, but every single major publication was going crazy a few months ago when Diddy's party planner actually said, and she went under anonymous, and Diddy had plenty of party planners, but the party planner from 2000 to 2005 went anonymously and said he timed all his freak offs to coincide with movie premieres, fights. So the movie premieres are in LA, the fight matches, boxing is in Vegas, and also the Video Music Awards, which are held in Los Angeles, Miami, and also New York. They timed the freak-offs. She then went, and I'll show you the quotes from major news organizations to say that Diddy spent upwards of $500,000 on the party. But then she said the private invitation only Smex party that also was scheduled for that night, he gave no budget for decoration. She could go crazy. They had 3 or 4 interior designers. They all vouched for that. Yes, they were all anonymous. The party voucher from the party planner from 2000 to 2005. Yes, she actually said this. Now, here's the real gag. I got a surprise for y'all. The surprise is that I found out who that party planner is, and I proved who that party planner is. And I believe this party planner holds the key to busting this case wide open. I'm just saying, is this one of the people that Diddy was doing witness intimidation, witness coercion? Because she's already spoken. She knows where the bodies are buried. And I'm going to walk you through what she knows, how she knows it, and why it's so pivotal. But until then, just let me get through this. I'll be really quick, okay? So right now, here we have a picture of Usher. Again, there is the music awards, there is the official sponsored after party, and then there is an after party that Diddy has outside of every VMA. The prosecutors have already affirmed this. Outside of every VMA and some fights that he has, and it is an annual thing, almost like the white party is an annual thing, okay? This is his MO. This is what he does. We don't have to argue this. Go look at the legal documents. Okay, so we have that. All right, let's get into this, right? Now, also, Usher's at the after party. Now, take it slow. We don't have to bow up. I'm just saying, Usher has an interesting past with Diddy, but he tried his best to never miss a Diddy event. Okay, now let's get into this, right? So anyway, there is proof there was an after party. Why am I showing these pictures? Because these pictures are being scrubbed off the net. Okay, I will also say that the point of, was Diddy there? Diddy was there. His date was Kim Porter. Okay, now pay attention to Diddy's t-shirt, Barry White. This is from the red carpet at the after party, the official sponsored after party. He is there with Kim Porter. Okay. Now, let's keep going. We have another image that was pulled from Getty Images archives. Again, for some reason, there's a million pictures of the 2003 movie awards, but there's barely any pictures of the MTV Music Awards show. And they are in Google search, but when you go to Getty Images, they are few and far between. I believe that somebody has wiped them. You can pay Getty Image to remove images. You can pay Getty Images to do anything. All right. Kim Porter and Sean P. Diddy Combs during the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards show. All right, there we go, right? Let's keep going. Now, here's the interesting thing about things being scrubbed from the internet. This woman, who was a girl at the time, said that she remembers Eminem performing on the street at the 2000 VMAs, okay? Now, I did look, and a lot of people said that, well, that has to be a lie because your 2003 theory falls apart because Eminem did not attend the 2003 VMAs, except for the fact that is not true. He 100% did attend, but as I think as early as last week, that record is wiped from the internet. If you ask ChatGPT, if you ask Gemini, if you ask Google, did Eminem attend the Video Music Awards for 2003? They say he attended, I think, 99, 2000, 2006. It's a big gap. And they all said the same thing. That's normal for Eminem. He always just like, sometimes he comes, sometimes he doesn't. I thought that was weird. I had to do a lot of research because here's the thing. He did not perform at the 2003 Video Music Awards. He was actually performing on the street in 2000, right? J-Lo also walked the red carpet. Again, keep in mind that the courts allow for melding of memories as long as it is substantially proven that the sum of your accusation is true. She is saying that Diddy raped her. So it doesn't matter whether J-Lo was standing outside the door. It doesn't matter whether Eminem was performing down. It doesn't matter whether, truth be told, it doesn't even matter whether she was talking to Benji Madden. All she has to prove is that Diddy raped her. That's it. And the courts, the experts, the people that know how to deal with people that have had traumatic childhoods and people that have a cognitive impairment, they all recognize that it needs to be teased out. Now, again, Busby should have done a better job of protecting his client. And again, I'm waiting for his response, right? There is a chance in the world that Busby can throw up the white flag and be like, okay, you guys got me. I was lying. I find it hard to believe that someone that is so well respected in their state as a skilled trial attorney and litigator literally just bought a case and got into a public fight with a billionaire over some made up BS. But weirder things have happened. So Busby can wave the red flag, but I honestly do believe what is going to happen is the case is going to proceed. Again, you only need to prove your substantive claims, and her claim is Diddy raped her. But let's talk about that 2000, and let's talk about Eminem. They're saying it couldn't have been 2000 because she said she saw Eminem. And guess what? Eminem wasn't anywhere around in the VMAs in 2003, except for the fact that even though the internet won't reflect it, we found archived footage. Let's get into the archived footage. Thank God for Ferdinand VII on YouTube. Now, remember that picture of Diddy standing next to Kim Porter? He was wearing that white T-shirt that said Barry White. Here he is with the members of some of the members of Run DMC. He's wearing the same Barry White shirt, just in case people think that something's getting chopped and screwed. Eminem and 50 Cent's best rap video. Even though it is so hard to find anything on the web, and the web is actually saying that he did not attend the Video Music Awards in 2003, you will see from this video with Diddy wearing the same exact shirt he had on the red carpet. He presents this title, he presents this award to 50 Cent. And who's that by him? Who is that man in the powder blue tracksuit and a do-rag? Wait, is that a do-rag? That better not be a do-rag because he ain't getting no waves out of that. My whole point of the matter is, okay, just listen to me. And I don't want to get all conspiracy theory, but I find it odd that pictures are being pulled down from the web. And the only thing you can find is a 2003 movie award, and to do significant digging to find images of the 2008 Video Music Award after party. The fact that if you go to Google, Gemini, ChatGPT right now and say, was Eminem there? They will all say he did not attend. When in fact, when you look at archive footage, right? He not only attended, but he accepted the award with 50 Cent for best rap video. Is it a coincidence? There's Vivian Kapas. Wow, this is a throwback. Is it a coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. But at the end of the day, I do want to say this, right? We are dealing with deep money. We are dealing with a system that was put in place that allowed Diddy, if you believe this, right, to prosper. We can literally set the stage to prove that Diddy was in fact there. The courts say, I don't care what any body that just want to like going crazy, right? The courts say, and again, not to y'all, but the people in the back. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter if you think it's stupid. It don't matter if you want to sit there and just be a petty bee and like break down and nitpick everything. The courts say that there will be a 4 to 6 year grace period for when people are recounting stuff. Again, she's saying 2000, but it's 2003. And tell me why there is so little evidence in these search engines, because When you go into archives, hold on really quick, y'all. When you go into archives, that's the interesting thing about archives, right? They're not available for the web, but there is a record. It's very difficult and very time consuming and very tedious to go through. But again, it's just odd to me that the record is being erased. And one of the reasons the record might be being erased is the fact that MTV deleted a couple months ago for no reason all of their archives. So unless it was downloaded into another website, it's very, very hard to find. Okay, right? So here we go. So we know that Eminem was definitely there. Let me put this back on the Summer Jam screen so you can see. We know that Eminem was definitely there. Okay, 100%. Here he is. You saw Diddy with the white shirt. Nobody can deny that. We saw Getty images. That was her. There's Missy Elliott. She was supposed to, I believe, perform. We saw Getty images saying that August 28th. Okay, y'all got it, right? Okay. So, really quick, I'm going to run through this just to test your mind. In 2000, attending the VMAs was on my bucket list at 13. It was like, oh my gosh, one of those things I've got to do. She snuck out the window to evade her parents. A friend drove her to Radio Music Hall, right? People thronged into viewing areas outside the venue, which was decked out with awards. Crowds roared when J-Lo arrived. Eminem performed on the street. Again, I know everybody is like, how could you make that mistake? You guys have to believe me. I actually don't believe me. Please just go Google and read 5 lines from any article about survivors of assault, about PTSD, about even abused children, physically abused children, and definitely about people autistic with cognitive impairments. It happens. It happens. You don't need to suspend disbelief. It happens. If you don't know it happens, please go and educate yourself. It's out there, right? So maybe she is confusing 2000 with 2003 because when you change the dates for 2000 and 2003, everything else actually checks out. Everything else checks out. Yeah, she didn't see Eminem perform. Maybe she saw it on TV the year before. It was 24 years ago. The courts will allow that. Eminem was there. Benji Madden was there. Diddy was there. Diddy hosted after parties. But what's more important, we're going to bring proof that his party planner hosted a Smex party afterwards, which she decorated, which Diddy spared no expense in doing. And we actually found, even though the party planner was speaking anonymously to the New York Post, the New York Times, all this stuff, we actually found out who she is. And when you find out who she is, yeah, it's a funny story how we actually found that, okay? Again, she spoke with Benji Madden at the after party. Now, let me just fast forward a little bit there. That's the things. Why is this so important? Because one, right? One on Diddy host 2003 MTV Movie Awards after party. I know I brought that up yesterday and showed it, but I want to tell you the significance of that. A lot of people are doubting that the limo driver would look at her and tell her, "You're just Diddy's type. Come on, let's go back," right? They would doubt that. Why would Diddy look at a 13-year-old girl? I don't know. But to the point, the 2003 MTV Movie Awards, which Diddy, not the music awards, but the movie awards, which Diddy, the after party and the after party that he actually hosted with notorious, some people would say dirtbag, scumbag Ashton Kutcher in Los Angeles. The reason why people believed that Diddy had his limo driver out in New York looking for 13-year-old girls, if you can believe the video. It's because in LA, I believe this happened in June at the MTV Movie Awards, Diddy was seen inviting a 13-year-old actress to an after party. And again, you look at Farnsworth Bentley's face, which, by the way, Farnsworth Bentley might be the surprise witness for the stand that got Diddy's mouth hanging completely open, right? You look at Fondler's Bentley's face. He looks worried. He looks scared. The little girl looks scared. Diddy looks like an absolute creep. He did this, I believe, in June of 2003, and he did it publicly and thought it was funny. And the media ran with him inviting and the way he's talking to her. So why do people think it's such a stretch that if Diddy did this publicly at the MTV Music Awards in 2003, why on earth, and, right, and laughing about it, why on earth wouldn't why on earth wouldn't Diddy actually, his limo driver, know what Diddy likes? And how do we know that limo driver didn't get a bonus for bringing that girl over there? Again, Diddy was seen publicly flirting with a 13-year-old a few months prior. That was, I think, in June in Los Angeles Movie Awards. And in August in New York City, Radio City Music Hall, the 13-year-old at the time was alleging that she was brought to them. Now, let me just rewind really quick because I think it's important to note at this point, key details of her story, if you look at it from 2003, are adding up. Now, again, remember when I said that the archive is actually being scrubbed a little bit, right? Listen. Okay. But anyway, let's just move on. Okay. The whole point of the matter, I'm getting to the point, just let me get here, right? Again, it is not being denied that Eminem performed on the street in 2000. What I'm saying is she combined memories. And what I'm saying is no matter how much anybody gets mad, the judge and the jury will accept that. All you need to do is get a few expert witnesses to testify. But you guys, there's more, there's more, there's more. If she is 2000, if it is 2000, like we did 2003, like we discussed last night, I do believe this woman got her date wrong. Now, again, hear me out. Tony Busby could come in and say, guess what? We lied. Case over. I have a hard time believing he's doing it. For the record, Tony Busby has not taken any new clients. Tony Busby is not working with anybody but the clients that he actually has. If you call Tony Busby's law firm, you can leave a email or a message and a messaging service will get back to you. When I say messaging service, law offices don't have like, hey, what's going on? It's Tisa, leave a number, beep. When law offices messaging services, they actually have people that are trained to be intake. Okay, they're not licensed lawyers. They're not even paralegals. They basically hire customer service reps to call you and be like, hi, I'm calling from blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we saw the information you sent it and we're just following up. Their whole job is to take information, see if it hits the criteria. And if it does, perhaps a meeting will be scheduled with a lawyer. The fact that they are nice to you, take your information, take your number, that doesn't mean that you guys are working together. It just means that they are doing their legal due diligence by actually talking. Okay. Now, why did I say all this? Because the one thing, again, archive, right? MTV BMA's performance, 2003 Eminem. All right. Again, it is what it is. The archive is being found. Now, again, I don't think that he actually performed at the 2000 VMAs, but it's hard to find the full version of the 2003 VMAs. Okay. Right now, like, again, MTV, Good Charlotte, Diddy was there, the after party there, the after party was there. So the only question is what actually happened at that after party and where the after party happened. A lot of people like to say, well, Diddy had Jay-Z and Beyonce was there. They even performed Crazy in Love. Y'all remember that, right? The after party, right? This is at the 2003. Let's just skip over this because I want to address actually the living situation, okay? Diddy purchased a house in Bergen County that's the little girl that Diddy was in her face. Probably he wouldn't want her anymore because whatever. Let's address this. 9 years later, Diddy finally sells sprawling Alpine, New Jersey estate. Now, there's a couple of things that people need to realize. One, it does have a circular driveway. Two, Diddy purchased it in 2004. That does not mean he was not leasing it. It does not mean he was not renting it. It just means that he decided to purchase it in 2004. Why is this important? Because if you look at the Internet archives in Saddle Horse or Saddleback in Alpine and plenty of places in Bergen County, Diddy had apartments, he had homes, and he had mansions. Now, let me just say this. Is this the mansion that Diddy had the freak off in? I strongly suggest it is. If not, it is a place in Jersey with mansions. You look at a child's memory, you look at somebody with autism. I can see this house being illuminated and lit up at night with people walking around in all white because that was Diddy's thing and thinking they pulled into a circular driveway with people all white. But let me just say this because I think it's important to say, because I think people are missing the forest for the trees because they want to argue so much because they want Diddy to be innocent. Is this proof that Diddy's guilty? No. Is it enough to know that the case is going to move forward? Absolutely. It's not over until the fat lady sings, right? At the end of the day, though, I do want to say this. Diddy also had a New Jersey mansion on the market for 4.2. He had an apartment in Bergen County. Diddy was deep in Bergen County. It's closest to the Yonkers part of New York. And Yonkers is right next to Mount Vernon, where Diddy actually grew up. To put it, this was Diddy's stomping ground. And everybody who's anyone from Fabulous to Mary J. Blige to people in the thing, they all moved over the bridge to this part of the bridge, this part of Jersey, Bergen County. Now, I know what you're saying. So, Tisa, where is the house, right? If you don't believe that it was actually held at this house, again, I know he bought it in 2004. You have to know, I'm getting ahead of myself. You have to know that at the end of the day, Diddy's MO, right? Again, this is from one major news publication, but there are many. We're learning more about what went on at Sean Diddy Combs' freak-offs and how to get on the list. According to a federal indictment against the rapper, he often threw these orgy-style rug and alcohol-fueled parties with SMEX workers mixed in with celebrities, wannabe influencers, and industry people. Okay. This is the party organizer saying, we would do a weigh-in if necessary. One unnamed organizer told the New York Post, the girls had to be young and hot. So I always had a scale near me in case I needed to make sure. The number was 140 pounds. But if the girl was tall, a little bit of discretion was actually involved. Sorry, guys, let's just get back to that. Again, Diddy gave discretion if somebody was hot. Diddy was famous. He didn't want to see any cellulite. He didn't want to see any fat. Diddy was crazy, right? On top of that, the party planner. The latter party planner worked with Diddy in 2004 and 2005. It's unclear where the parties were held. The singer told them all over the place from hotels. The singer held them all over the place from hotels, entertainment venues, as well as homes in the Hamptons, LA, and Miami Beach. Now, just to let you know, this is an excerpt from a larger article, right? I believe in the New York Post that actually spoke to about 3 or 4 party planners that Diddy worked with. Some worked in the 90s, some worked from 2000 to 2004-5. Others worked from 2004-5 to 2009. And there are some that work from 2010 to present. So keep that in mind, okay? I think people are forgetting when it's just like, well, Diddy couldn't have been staying in the Manhattan apartment, and that's not his house. I think we're forgetting that in Cassie's lawsuit, Cassie actually said that Diddy rented out hotels because he didn't like the mess it made in his house. Okay. I believe the Mondrian in South Beach, the one and only in South Beach, is where freak-offs actually happen. The feds know this. He rented hotels, entertainment venues, as well as homes in Hamptons, LA, and Miami Beach. Also, of course, in New York City. Hold on. One second. I got other sound bites. Hold on. In terms of the dress code, there were no pants, no jeans, no flat shoes. Every girl had to wear a party dress, preferably very short, just enough to cover her butt cheeks, but no longer than mid thigh. Sorry. We gonna wrap this up in a second. Cleavage showing, and every single one of them had to wear stilettos. That one, there was no exception. High stilettos. They said age was reportedly not a factor. It was don't ask, don't tell. This is direct quote from the party planner that handled Diddy's parties between 2000 and 2004. I am splicing the article up. If you want to read the full article, go to the New York Post, page 6, but it was quoted in a bunch of other online articles. It's not hard to find, right? So I said this for those of people saying, well, it doesn't make sense because the house. Maybe that house in Alpine isn't the house. I strongly suggest it is. But even then, the feds, the party planners, and the people involved in the freak offs all said that Diddy always had it at other venues. Even when Diddy had freak offs in his Miami home, it was in the freak off mansion number 2, not, not where Diddy actually lived. It was not where Diddy actually lived. So I, going through the archives and reading all the stuff about the party planners, said, wait a second. Remember when there was that article about Diddy throwing Meek Mill's a party, right? And y'all know it was like Sodom and Gomorrah, carnage, all this stuff. And the host and the party planner that set up the thing said he left it an absolutely disgusting mess. It literally looked like an orgy had just left out of there. So that's when I said, you know what? Who was Diddy's party planner between 2000 and 2005? More importantly, who was Diddy's party planner in 2003? Who indeed? You guys, I scoured the web. I looked. She actually, I believe, gave an interview to, of course, page 6, but she did it under being anonymous. I believe I have found the person. And I believe when you see how I found her, your jaw's going to drop. But I believe we have found this person. And I believe that if the feds, Tony Busby, or anybody else that wants to sue Diddy can actually bring her in to make a statement, that the case will be blown wide open because she knows through receipts what venue Diddy rented. She knows through receipts where the parties were thrown. She knows through receipts where she had to decorate not just the party, but also the private SMEX parties that happened in conjunction with the VMAs, boxing matches, and events. Again, these are her words in page 6. Go Google the article. Yes, I clipped it out of order, but y'all can figure it out. So I did a little digging. And look what I found. I found this article in InStyle magazine from 2003, Heavenly Host. And it is talking about how Diddy is the best host in the world. They're talking about his August Hamptons party. Don't forget that picture of Jay-Z and Diddy sitting by each other. That was from his August 2003 Hamptons party, which I believe he had before the VMAs, because the VMAs Video Music Awards for 2003 was in the 28th. Okay. Again, I am believing that all this stuff this girl's talking about actually happened in 2003. I could be wrong. I'm sharing my evidence. You let me know what you think, right? They talk about how no attention to detail, all white. Look at right there. There's Ashton Kutcher right there looking like a creep. In my opinion, I do not know if Ashton Kutcher is a scumbag, dirtbag, or creep, but he appears to be a scumbag, dirtbag, or creep to me. But I do not know personally. Okay. It is my opinion that he may be. All right. You see all these people and you see this whole heavenly host. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is still not a lot of information. Who is the actual host, who is your party planner. She can break this right open. We are stupid if we believe that Diddy was holding this in his Manhattan apartment. We're stupid if we believe that Diddy wasn't literally throwing parties in Bergen, New Jersey. He absolutely was, but that was not his main place of residence, okay? And he never really lived there. So look at this, because even after he sold his New York residence, right? He continued. This is how much he didn't stay in Bergen for that Alpine house. Even after he sold his New York residence, and you can look this up, right? If you want, I'll do a live tomorrow. Well, not a live, I'll do a video. We ain't doing a live again. You can look it up that after he sold his New York residence, he owned the whole building. He sold the apartment building, and then he stayed there and paid the owner rent of $30,000 a month to keep that place. That's how much this mofo was not living in Jersey. He was paying rent on a place that he sold the building and stayed in one of the units and was paying rent to the new owner. All right. Diddy threw crazy parties in Jersey. Now, let's get into this. So, you see what I'm saying? 2003, still searching. But you know your girl's resourceful. So, what did I do? That's right. I found on eBay Bad Boy, because Diddy's Page Six and New York Post both confirm that Diddy's party planner for the year 2003, from 2000 to 2003, is the same person. Around 2004 to 2005, it went into different party planners. Your girl searched and searched and searched and went through internet archives and blogs and everything, and I came upon this eBay listing. Bad Boy Puff Daddy P. Diddy Biggie Smalls White Party 2003 Invite in Hip Hop. It is being sold right now for $1,000. You can own a piece of history. They still have the invite. This was groundbreaking. But what do you see right here on the invite when you zoom in? What do you see, right? This is the white party, right? The white party is Sunday, August 31st, from 4 to 10 p.m. Now, after 10 p.m., remember when Denzel said you got to leave before the devil comes? Sean P. Diddy Combs cordially invites you to the absolute white party. And here we have the party planner's name, info and RSVP, J.R. Rosenbaum Events. Jessica Rosenbaum, who is a renowned party planner. And once you know her name, it's all up and down Diddy's world, is the party planner. Now listen, I know they gave anonymous names. I know they didn't want to source. I know they didn't want to get involved, but we cannot deny what was found on YouTube for $1,000. Somebody that attended that party that got an invite is selling their actual acrylic invite that was, and the party planner's name is right there on the invite. Info RSVP to Jessica Rosenblum Events, right? 646-230-8033. It has Sean John's signature, of course, Motorola, all the corporate sponsors. Again, there we have it. We have the party planner. This is the girl that not only, according to her own words, stating anonymously in New York Post and in the Page Six, that was quoted all over media, CNN, NBC, name whatever legacy media you wanted. It was requoted in the LA Times, New York Times, name whatever you want. This is who his party planner was from 2000 to 2003. And even if she wasn't 2000, it doesn't matter. She was a party planner for 2003. She did the VMAs, right? Where people were like floating off the, like hanging off the roof in cages, and people were ooh and ah. She did the corporate VMA, because even though it was sponsored by MTV, the official after party, Diddy was the one, and Jessica Miss Rosenblum was the one in charge of events. So she did the official after party, And if you read the article, I think I have it here, but if not, I'll hold it up to the screen. She also said that she would do the unofficial SMEX parties that ran in conjunction. She said she never asked the girls for ID. She never asked the girls' ages. All she cared about and all Diddy cared about was how much the girls weighed and that they had tight bodies with no jiggle and no cellulite. These are in the articles. They're all over the web, right? So why do I say this? It's because in the article, she also goes on to say, listen, she says, listen, because Miss Rosenblum still does events. Listen, I wasn't involved in like the sex trafficking. I thought that the reason they didn't want to know the girls' names and we had a don't ask, don't tell policy is because of underage drinking. We had no idea there were underage possible sexual activity. Again, this woman's name has been shrouded in mystery and silence. This was Diddy's party planner from 2000 to 2003. Even if you don't want to wrap 2000 into it, it was definitely his party planner for 2003. This woman, I believe, is the key to cracking the case open. Now, she does say in the article she was not in charge of the guest list. Diddy took care of the guest list. However, right? Diddy took care of the guest list. And I do believe that because in all of Diddy's parties, no matter where they are, he takes care of the guest list. He takes care of the locks, sorry, and he takes care of the security cameras, okay? Right? He takes care of who these security cameras actually is. So, why do I bring this woman up? Because not only does she know where all the bodies are buried, what venues were rented, where they were, this and that, she acknowledges that there were underage kids all the time. Again, it makes it more likely than not that when a limo driver saw a 13-year-old girl, he thought maybe he could get a bonus and said, yo, get in, I'll take you to where Diddy is. Does this mean that she is telling the truth? That Jane Doe is telling the truth? I don't know. That is for a jury to decide. The victim will always trump whoever got a mixtape that I like, right? I stand justice. I stand right. I stand principles. I go up for that. But this woman who was previously shrouded in mystery is the secret. And it is based off of the smoking gun right there. Whoever it is that is selling this, if you want it for 1,000, they're selling it. A Hustle Queen 74. Hustle Queen 74 is selling her invite to the thing, which actually pins Jessica Rosenblatt as the event director. Again, she did the VMAs, the Video Music Awards in radio, the after party. She did Diddy's SMEX after party. She talked about it, how Diddy would spend upwards of $500,000 for a party, but when it came to the invitation only SMEX parties, money was no option. She could blow the bank. Imagine spending $500,000 on a party and saying, but go crazy when you get to the SMEX party. She also did the white party on Sunday, August 31st, Diddy's famous Labor Day weekend parties. Again, listen, Alex Spiro is busy doing his best to defend Jay-Z's honor. And if Jay-Z gets off, Diddy must be out of his mind if he thinks he's slipping away under Jay-Z's skirt. He better get back here because Diddy, you had the motive. You had the opportunity. You have shown us that you like flirting with 13-year-old girls. Baby, you have motive, opportunity, and now that we got your party planner, we know where the scene of the crime is. This woman is the key with Homeland Security investigations. And Busby, if he doesn't come out and say, okay, I quit, we were all lying, I don't see him doing that, but you never know, to actually finding out where this after party happened, because she had to keep meticulous records. Why? Because she is a business. And for the IRS, in order to claim business expenses, she would have to have those receipts. She would have to have those receipts. A receipt and a paper trail actually exists. What's more, this is Miss Jessica right now. She is here. Hold on. I mean, she's not on the channel. Let me get y'all hype. Hold on, really, right? Listen. Again, this is Patrick McMullen Archives. This is Miami, Florida, August 28th. Zach Posen. Y'all remember him and Diddy, where they was like doing the butt, sexy, and kissing. It was a very intimate scene, right? I do not know if Diddy prefers the strong touch of a man, but he seemed to like Zach's gentle touch, right? And Jessica Rosenblum, they attended Diddy's host, the one and only official after party. Again, she worked with Diddy for a while. She's still tight in Diddy's circle. She talked freely about the 2006 MTV Video Music Awards, Timberland pre-VMA Bash hosted by GQ. We see Jessica there too. Again, Diddy is said to have hosted an after party after that too. Jessica was very mixy. Jessica was in charge of not just blowing a bag on the party, but again, class, say it with me. That's right, doing a freak off. Exactly. She said she didn't know. She thought they weren't checking for IDs because of alcohol. Now she realizes there might be something funny going on with age. And somebody can sit this woman down and go through her the 2005 MTV VMA Sean Diddy Combs MTV Friday night party at Mansion. Why was Jessica there? Because Jessica was the one that decked the place out. She was the concept, she was the vision, but she was also the one that also, in her own words, go read page 6, would also decorate and deck out the private SMEX parties, the venue. She would scout the venue. She would scout the workers. She said that they use SMEX workers, right? She would scout the venues. She would secure the venues, decorate the place, do this, do that. We know that Diddy likes renting out mansions. So I'm sick of everybody, not everybody, but I'm sick of people acting like Diddy is like you and me having a party in our home. Diddy is known for renting out places for his freak offs. And it really honestly doesn't matter whether he bought that Alpine mansion in 2003, 2004, 2005. Diddy had a freak off at somebody's mansion. Just like he had Meek Mill's birthday party at somebody's mansion. Diddy didn't like having freak offs where he laid his head. You know? Listen, again, I believe she is the key to actually cooperating. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? Here's the interesting thing. Remember when they said that Diddy was doing witness tampering? That Diddy wouldn't stop emailing people, texting them, doing all this stuff, that Diddy is sitting in jail off of an obstruction of justice charge? Who do you think he was trying to get in touch with? Do you think Diddy beat us to the punch? Do you think that when Diddy saw these things about parties being thrown, because here's the thing, every other victim that's a part of Diddy said that they were at a mansion. Diddy likes to rent mansions. Every other person says, well, I don't know if this was his home residence or not, but it was decorated like a party. Okay. Do you think Diddy beat us to the punch? Do you think Diddy sat there and looked at those lawsuits and said, there ain't no way they can prove this? Because do you think Diddy's lawyers got to work, paid people to scrub archives, which is a very easy thing to do, and something, it's expensive, but it's something that happens? Do you think that Diddy's lawyers went busy and tried to thought about it and said, wait, a venue? Ooh, who rented the place? Who staffed the sex party? Who scouted locations? And who put north of $500,000 into every private SMEX party to create an experience during these years that we're being sued? Ah, that's right. Jessica did that. Maybe we should talk to Jessica. And maybe we should remind Jessica. And again, I'm not accusing Jessica of any wrongdoing. This is all hypothetical. But if I was Diddy and I was facing these charges, I would say maybe we should talk to Jessica. And maybe we should remind Jessica that you were the one that brought half these things here. For all we know, the party planner could have told everybody there the same way Little Rod said, um, well, Big Rod, now that he got that win over Diddy, right? But they could have been like, yo, her job was to make sure that everybody knew what Diddy liked and to bring it there. Diddy likes young girls. The younger, the taller, the skinnier, the better. Just bring them, bring them, bring them. Again, they said strictly it was a do not ask, do not tell. Again, we can argue whether Jay-Z did it or not. But one thing we cannot argue is whether Diddy was actually at the scene of the crime. I believe he had motive. I believe he had opportunity. And I believe that we have placed, if not the scene of the crime, we know the person that rented out the venue. Again, so how, this is Miami Herald. So how did Diddy's female guests get invited to Diddy's freak-offs? The party planners tell all. They were busy doing everything. Um, Again, you can Google the article. Blah 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 blah. That's his Alpine thing. This is Denzel Washington confronted Sean Diddy Combs and stormed out after an all-night party in 2003. This either had to be the Labor Day or it had to be the Video Music Awards freak off. They saw something that they did not like. For somebody saying, "Well, yo, he had a freak off on the Music Awards show, and then he had a freak off in Labor Day." Maybe we saw with Cassie and her thing, Diddy's appetite for freak-offs was insatiable. It was 4th of July. He wanted to ride all the rides and slide down all the slides. Let's get into this really quick before we finish up. Victor Wiggins, thank you so much for the super chat. Royal77, thank you so much for the super sticker. CC Dollars, thank you so much for gifting a membership. CC Dollars, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Infinite Wisdom, thank you so much for the super sticker. Beautiful messy ball. You said check. Oh, thank you. Check the Wayback Machine. I did not know about that. I actually just use educational and institutional archives. But no, I'll definitely check the. Where is my pen? I never got my pen. Oh, here we go. The Wayback Machine. Sorry, guys. Let me just jot this down really quick. Wayback Machine. Okay. Let's see. Sabrina Renee Speaks says, I believe it too, Tisa. I know that makes two of us. Thank you so much. Nubia Gold, thank you so much for becoming a member. Kim G, what's up, Kim? Said, Tisa, we need to get Jay Rosenbaum on the phone. Let me tell y'all something. I don't think Jay Rosenbaum is getting on the phone because Jay Rosenbaum, I think that somebody may or may not have called 1-877 for HSI tip because, baby, when I have a tip, I actually report it to the authorities. I'm trying to make sure there are justice in our communities can actually stay safe. Jay Rosenbaum, I mean, don't get me wrong, Kim, is a great idea. I will try, Kim G. But to be honest with you, I think that she would be wise to go to the authorities first. That's also the authorities haven't already questioned her and she hasn't, and actually be honest in what she knows, because it's the line blurs between being a enabler, which spells out to being an accomplice, which to being someone that is just testifying on behalf of the state. Again, I'm not accusing anybody of any wrongdoing, but if these freak-offs and everything that was happening and she arranged them and that she was around, because everybody knows when you have big name clients and you're an event planner, you don't just be like, okay, like act like you're dropping kids off at Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, y'all have a good time. Text me when you're ready. No. The event planner for such a high profile thing usually stays on site to make sure nothing goes wrong. Because if you put in all this money and all this time into making an experience your client is supposed to be blown away by, right? You could have the best birthday party, baby shower. Let's just say it's not anything already planned. And if you leave halfway through, or if you're not there and something goes wrong, the client's going to be angry. They're not going to want to pay you. But more importantly, event planners depend on word of mouth. And nobody is going to want to hire you because last time you disappeared and everything went to hell. So especially with someone as demanding and extracting as Diddy, he's known for being an a-hole, known for making people work like days without eating. Don Little Rod's lawsuit, known for like being abusive. like verbally and mentally to his staff, known for being a harsh taskmaster, and he doesn't care. He just wants it done. Diddy was Jay Rosenbaum's key to like literally taking it to another level. So I do not believe at all that she just gave him the keys and then that was it. Party was over. She stayed there because she was his planner, I believe, to make sure that there were no surprises and everything went as it was supposed to. Again, this is my belief, but I think she would be the actual um uh I think that she would actually be um yeah, I think that she would actually be the key to this. Also, Miss T Perfectly Imperfect said 2023 VMAs is on YouTube. Keep up the good work. Yes, 2023 VMAs is on YouTube. I did eventually find Eminem and that 2003 clip from the Video Music Awards and raise on. But ask yourself, how come when you Google or when you go to traditional media outlets, it's now saying that Eminem didn't even attend when we literally have somebody's private YouTube account? Because this is the thing, you can't scrub somebody's private YouTube account. You can maybe go to Legacy and pay for it, do this and that. You cannot scrub public record from somebody's private YouTube account. These are the only records when Google is literally saying, no, he did not attend the 2003 Video Music Awards. Again, it's something very small, but when you look at the way things add up, it just makes you go, you know what I'm saying? It just makes you wonder. Listen, it makes you wonder. And it makes you wonder now that we see what's going on. And it makes you wonder now that when we go down that rabbit hole, we try. And I do want to say that I was the person that actually researched this first. Y'all not like seriously. I don't care if other people follow the trend, but baby, I put in some hours on this. My live last night broke down all the receipts. Okay. But the whole point of the matter is, okay, just to get it off of who did what, because I know we're not little kids. It's fine. And I'll stop because who cares, right? I need to go to bed. And I'll be on live tomorrow, fresh and bright eyed. But let me just get this out. If we were able to figure this out, guys, in less than 24 hours, right? Literally, if we were able to figure this out, then that means that Diddy's already figured it out. Diddy knows what he did. It puts the feds and their concern with witness tampering in a whole different scenario. The fact, and think about it, because I'm like, yo, Diddy is insane. Why don't he just put that phone down if he knows these mofos watching? But now that we know how loose this web is and how if somebody like shakes it, it'll fall apart, right? Now that we know that, hold on. Oh, that's another thing. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie. That's another thing, right? When somebody says that it's on to the thing, don't forget that prior to, I want to say, I don't know the exact year, but I want to say prior to 2010, it might even be more recent, but I think prior to 2010, MTV removed all their public videos. This is another reason why it's hard to find something on Google searches. Yes, people on YouTube have it, but if it's on YouTube's personal account, right? MTV would have had to know it's there, then do a copyright request, a takedown request, blah, 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 blah. MTV deleted all of their news archives from the internet. They erased over 2 decades of articles. Again, this is public knowledge. They deleted more than 20 years of articles just like that. And it happened when Diddy stuff was popping off. This girl, this thing happened a little bit over 2 decades ago. Let me just read you this article. But before I do that, let me just finish my point because I know mama's fading, but we're going to hang in there till one more second. I used to think that Diddy was just out of his mind. But now I see there is 100, there was always a method to his madness, but now I see the urgency. Because if we figured this out in less than 24 hours, and yes, Tony Busby office did a horrible job of prepping the victim. Yes, NBC News really did some really questionable, to me, borderline unethical reporting when you're dealing with someone with mental cognitive impairment. Anybody that knows people with autism, it was really some shady stuff. It really was. It bordered, NBC, if you remember from Ronan Farrell's book To Catch and Kill, when NBC was very proactive in implementing checks and balances and measures that made sure that Weinstein's reign of terror could continue. If you read Ronan Farrell's book, Catch and Kill, he outlines all of this. NBC was very overcorrective. I don't want to say that they were on the take because I don't want to get sued, but they were very overcorrective in protecting Harvey Weinstein, even with faced with mountains and mountains and decades of evidence of his doing. The fact that NBC sat down and did this to a woman that suffers from mental cognitive impairment, and you hear her talk, she doesn't seem to be high functioning. And the fact that they gave us a Frankenstein interview of sound bites and quotes without any context, and anybody that has a thinking mind knows you need context, it makes me understand the way Diddy couldn't stop trying to witness tamper, the way Diddy wouldn't stop texting people, the way Diddy was informing his sons, because there's all these people out here that were pivotal and they know where receipts are buried. Because there's a million idiots on the web saying, oh, it wasn't the 2004, it was and not seeing the forest for the trees. I get it. Details are important. However, the fact that Diddy rented out mansions for all the freak-offs, why wouldn't he just rent out another mansion? He got the money and the party decorator just comes and does her thing. My point of the matter is, this explains Diddy's urgency so much that he was willing to risk his freedom, because there are a million little loose ends. And I think Diddy thought that he was sewing up the loose ends when he was in New York City, but he was too aggressive, too fast. He got caught and he's been locked up ever since. But even then, now this explains why Diddy couldn't stop using the phone, buying minutes, because in his mind, he might have to stay in jail a little bit longer. But if, let's just say hypothetically, Jessica Rosenbaum starts talking, if the limo drivers start talking, if the people he used to do his bidding, that he paid to do his bidding, truly starts talking, it will all go down. And really quick, in case anybody is actually doubting this, let's read what happened. This was in stage LNYC. MTV deleted the iconic music TV channel of the 80s and 90s is gone. The Hollywood Reporter, the foremost preliminary, like the Hollywood Reporter is a big deal, and they are a huge trade magazine. They're a popular magazine, but never forget they are a trade magazine for industry insiders to actually read tea leaves and see what's going on. In business, Comedy Central website, Daily Show clips, everything was wiped out. MTV deleted their news archives from the internet, erasing over 2 decades of articles. Now, I know some people will be like, oh, well, what's the big deal? Maybe storage was too expensive. For an organization that big, storage is such a micro cost, it doesn't mean a difference. Also, the Library of Congress will actually take anything that's notable, such as 2 decades of a bona fide music legacy that saw modern popular music. They were the incubator. They bought up. Their news articles, their videos are a treasure trove and an archive. It was deleted and they refused to give it to the Library of Congress. They just wanted it gone. Why is that? Well, I have a theory on that. Some people say that they did it to protect Diddy. Maybe, but Diddy isn't so big that somebody would delete all their history. You know what I think they did it. It wasn't just to protect Diddy. It was to protect Diddy-like individuals. See, the 90s and the 2000s were wild times. It was also the beginning of reality TV. So people were just free. They let everything be filmed because you didn't, it wasn't like it is now, right? On top of that, with the archives, if you look at the archives, it was a time where there was no political correctness, where people didn't understand what uh 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 date grape is. They just said the groupie drank too much wine, right? People did not respect domestic violence. They didn't respect SA. They didn't respect political correctness. They racism. You could do what you wanted. The 90s and the 2000s were wild times. Go to the blog article. There's proof. I think MTV saw what happened to Diddy. I think they saw that, yeah, it's making the band and all this stuff. But I think they saw what happened to Diddy. And I think they saw the way people were pouring over their archives, finding more information and more information and more information about weirdo stuff, right? And I think they thought and they said, wait a second, if this is happening to Diddy, and Diddy was basically doing what everybody else is, or everybody else was enjoying what Diddy did, maybe we need to get rid of all this footage and just throw the baby out with the bathwater, because it's more important we protect this archive of celebrity and ecosystem, because don't forget MTV is under Viacom, so they don't care, than to leave this historical record up that can actually come back in the form of lawsuits, not just to the company, but to the personal artists. Don't forget, these artists have their agents, they have their handlers, they have all this stuff. They are billion-dollar businesses. I believe they said, you know what? There's no way we can go through an archive of 20 years of videos, exclusives, interviews, sound bites, B-roll. There's no way we can go through 20 years of it. You know what? Just burn it all. And that way nobody can come back to us. By that, we will have the record by the time that political correctness is in. And if anybody's still acting up, then that's on them. But we're not going to suggest, we're not going to uh, subject the supernovas. Let's also not forget the MTV footage. I remember around the time when Diddy first got arrested, people were zooming in on old footage from the parties, zooming in to people that might not be celebrities, but they are businessmen, they're businesswomen, they were wealthy. Okay, back then in 2000, whatever, to have a camera pan in the room, everybody was laughing. Now nobody wants to be associated, so they're like, we can't go through all this B-roll. We don't know. Bill Gates might be standing in the corner. Elon Musk might be swaying off beat. We don't know what's going on. Just burn it all. I think that's why they actually did it. It wasn't just to protect Diddy. It was to protect the ecosystem of celebrity and the sick things that actually happen that were either caught on tape or that really powerful people just don't want to be associated with. Again, look at this article, USA Today. If you want your MTV, it just got a lot harder to find. The archives of MTV News were deleted Monday. This was on June 26, 2024. The archive, and let's not forget, Diddy's home was raided. This was deleted around the time they announced that Diddy was under grand jury investigation, or it started leaking that he was under grand jury investigation. The archives of MTV News were deleted on Monday, June 24th, removing decades of music journalism from the internet. The links to MTV News and MTV.com News began to redirect to MTV's homepage, Variety reported. The links continued to redirect to the homepage as of Wednesday evening. The archives contain work from the news site's founding in 1996 that documented the rise of multiple stars and genres. The music channel's news operation was shut down in 2023 as part of a round of layoffs conducted by parent company Paramount. Oh, what's Paramount's parent company? Disney, Paramount, MTV. Okay, I'm just saying. The layoffs cut off 20% of jobs at the company owned by Paramount. Listen, Country Music Television, formerly Country Music Television, CMT, also owned by Paramount, removed its news articles from its sites last week, according to Variety. Again, it's weird that Disney, Paramount Global, tried to take every online news site that covered every aspect of the entertainment industry and basically make them delete their archives for no reason and didn't even give that information to the Library of Congress. Again, does it mean anything? Right? I don't know. But Crystal Bell said this is sickening, derogatory to see the entire MTV News archive wiped from the internet. Decades of music history gone, including some very early K-pop stories. Patrick Hodgson said, so MTV News no longer exists. 8 years of my life are gone without a trace. He was a writer. All because it didn't fit some executives' bottom lines. Infuriating is too small the world. Where they used the excuse that they couldn't afford to keep it up because of storage, but data analysis said that was a lie and it was very, very minimal cost. They did it, I believe, because they were trying to erase. Brian Hyatt said, this is disgraceful. They've completely wiped the MTV News archives. Decades of pop culture history, research material is gone. And why? And why? The why is Diddy. The how is they had the power and they're still doing it. You guys, listen, this case is just beginning. I do believe that this case is actually moving forward. I know people don't want to admit it. I know it makes people mad. I know people cry, but at the end of the day, the law is the law, and the law is to protect the weak and the innocent and give the weak and an innocent a voice. Because let me tell you something, tyranny doesn't need a voice. Evil men don't need the voice. They are the tyranny. Rich and powerful don't need a voice. They are the tyranny and the evil men. Okay? The tyranny of evil men shall afflict men walking through on all sides. Again, these type of cases get messy. Okay? Yes, that's what makes them these type of cases because oftentimes people you love and you think you respect, even though you have no reason to because you don't know them, you only know their image, it hurts people's souls. Regardless, the point in all this is to say, I believe that this case is moving forward. We will wait for what has Tony Busby posted anything or is he still on vacation? We will wait to see what Tony Busby's post, but I do not for 1 second what? Sorry, I opened Instagram really quick to see if Tony Busby responded and it said let bygones be bygones. Neo's ex-wife Crystal Renee links up with Sade Baggernice and they're hugging and looking real happy with each other. Okay, you know what? Let me mind my business and find Tony Busby's page. Mr. Busby, are you around? Tony Busby is not around, and Tony Busby has not posted anything on his Instagram stories. However, I am 100% sure that he will. Anyway, you guys, I wanted to see. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me read these super chats. Sorry. Andrea Pfeiffer, thank you so much for the super chat. Giphy Sana said they said she's lying because Benji Madden and brother were not at the 2000 VNA, but they were at the 2003 VMAs. So bam, her story fits. Tisa, you cracked the case. Now, oh, thank you so much. But not only does her story fit, we have an after party. We have an after party. We have the party planner. And on top of that, we have the party planner. She spoke out to page 6, New York Post, that was retweeted and shared by a bunch of big news organizations anonymously about how much Diddy pays for his after parties, upwards of 500,000. But when it comes to the private SMEX parties, the freak offs, he'll pay anything. He doesn't care. He just wants to experience. She also went anonymous on off record anonymously, but I believe we found out who she is to say that they routinely let in underage girls. They had a don't ask, don't tell with ID. On top of that, she went on to say that these were timed strategically for BMA awards, boxing matches, and other celebrity events. Also, she did the BMAs and she did his actual thing. Again, We can argue about whether she was actually great, but even then, even then, she's 13. Even if she moves that by 3 years, that makes her 15, depending on where her birthday falls in the year, or at the most 16. 16 is not the age of consent in New York if the person is more than 4 years older than you. So if you are 16, you can date a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, and a 20-year-old, right? And a 20-year-old if you're 16, and it won't be considered statutory rape. But if they are a year older, 22, whatever, it is 100% statutory rape per se. That girl was 15. You already know what that is. If she was 16, Diddy and whoever else is over the age of 20. So again, and we have the party planner saying that they rent venues. We also have the actual federal prosecution's case saying that Diddy did it, that always rented out hotel rooms, venues, or whatever. Maybe Diddy didn't want that baby oil all over his mansion. No, 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 no. Again, there's articles now that when he leaves the mansions, he leaves them like orgies and he just plays the cleaning fee. Exactly. I do believe. And also, I think it's disgusting the way so many, like, sometimes, like, feel what Kendrick was saying when he's like, yo, it's time for the party to die. I hope y'all got GNX. It's chef's kiss, right? Etc. Especially reincarnated, right? It's really, really good. But my whole point is, I think, and again, I think it is disgusting. I think it's filthy. I think it is so vile. I think it is evil itself. Because you know that old thing, right? Evil is evil. But when you can identify it, I was listening to this podcast, you can rush toward it and squash it. That is the nature of evil. That's why evil tries to stay hidden, because people mobilize to squash it. Stupid is something different. Evil mobilizes stupid to run interference, to do its bidding, and to keep it out of trouble. Evil mobilizes stupidity. And when you argue with someone, forget it. The point is, evil mobilizes and uses stupidity as a weapon. It uses, and I think it is the epitome of stupidity, disgusting vileness, that people are attacking a mentally ill woman, that the courts in the United States of, no, I'm sorry, not mentally ill, I apologize, mentally impaired, cognitively impaired, autistic woman, that the courts in every single state in this United States of America have given a special level of protection, and they give different standards and different rules to victims of trauma, of child sexual abuse, and cognitive impairment. This woman has all three. The dad thing, it is a little troubling, but that's something to explain away in the jury. That's something kind of, everybody was just screaming last week. What type of parents? Where's the parents? What type of parents let her show up? What type of parents let their 13-year-old show up? Now all of a sudden that he's like, I don't remember. Well, he's the best father in the year. Give him father. Y'all was just saying when y'all thought you could use it to discredit her. Oh, why blame the parents? Why are we suing anyone else? Now all of a sudden the parents are bashing the good. Listen, at the end of the day, it's disgusting to me that people are attacking people with mental impairments and acting like our laws in America don't exist, and that there are reasons that the experts, the people that study this for a living, the people that do more than run dumb Stan accounts, right? The people that actually have some education, right? And again, I don't mean to sound elitist with education or anything like that, but you get my point. The people that are actually doing it and put the research in to actually see what's going on, instead of people literally spending their lives tweeting all day because they like the mixtape called The Blueprint 4. Again, people can land where they want. I really don't care. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Believe what you want to believe. I have bought you what my research is. You may find that compelling. You may find it not. But unless Tony Busby stands there and says, we lied about everything, this case is going to move forward. Even if the judge dismisses it without prejudice, it'll just be refiled correctly. Like, just because you did like something wrong paperwork, that you don't lose your chance of freedom unless there's a statute of limitations. It will be rejected and it will be refiled correctly. That is the nature of the law. All right. I don't want to start quoting Tony Busby because whatever, but like he says, justice limps along, but it gets there eventually. Tony, if you don't get back from vacation and limp yourself in here, because we need some answers. Again, y'all can debate on whether your fave Jay-Z was actually in the room or whether she misremembered. But baby, when it comes to Diddy, we got the motive, got the opportunity. And baby, I believe we actually have the venue too. I believe we have the menu. Myra Shively said, "Hey Tisa, would you pass this info to Mr. Busby?" Absolutely, but I would assume his law firm, after Alex Spurl embarrassed the dog mess out of him. I know he like embarrassed the dog mess out of his firm. That was some sloppy 1L. You only watch Ally McBeal for law. That was some sloppy work. I would assume after that happened, Busby, I hope, and their team woke up, got active, and probably we are going to see something submitted to the court tomorrow morning. If it is, I'm going to go live as soon as it goes on. So join me. Also, thank you, Myra. Myrna. Sorry, my dyslexia is kicking my butt. Myrna. Also, Heather Stanley, thank you so much for being a member. You said TTN, Tisa Tell News. And also YM Droid, you said one correction. Oh, okay, thank you. Paramount, well, no. Are you sure? Because I have a Disney Paramount Plus app. You said one correction. Paramount is owned by Viacom, who also owns Nickelodeon. Disney owns ABC, who just settled with 45. Okay, fine. But I have a Disney Paramount Plus app. So they're connected some way. I have, let me go to ChatGPT. I know for a fact. You know why? Because I've been trying. I don't know what TV I signed up for the Disney Plus Paramount app. And I've been trying to like deactivate it from the building. It's only $5.99 a month, but it just bothers me. They're getting, and you cannot deactivate unless I don't even know what TV I loaded it in. But hold on, let me check really quick. I'm sure you're right, YM Droid, but let me just, and thank you for correcting me. Let me just get this. Hold on. Is Disney Paramount Plus, are they related in any way, Paramount, parent companies or anything like that? Or do they just have an app? Hold on, guys. Just doing some quick research. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I stand corrected. Sorry about that. So I either have the Disney Plus or the Paramount Plus app. I might even have both. They are competing platforms in the crowded streaming market. Okay. Apologies, everybody. Again, that's why I said, and that's why I love y'all keeping me honest. Trust no one. Vet everything. But while you're vetting, please don't forget to see the far. Don't not see the forest because you're too focused on the leaves. Or is it not see the leaves and not the forest? I don't know. The point is the big picture. Okay. And thank you so much, YM Droid. Okay. Disney and Paramount Plus are not together. ABC. Okay. Let me just check one more thing because I have to check. Is Paramount in the Super Bowl in any way related? Oh, well, the only way they're related is Super Bowl advertisement. See, if you dig deep enough, there's always that connection. What's the connection to the Super Bowl? It's big money. Paramount Super Bowl advertisement and CBS's role in broadcasting the Super Bowl. And also, Paramount sponsors the NFL halftime show or content sponsorship. That means that I have to go. The point of the matter is it's all connected. Anyway, you guys, listen, I gotta go. Thank you for rocking with me, YM Droid. Thank you so much, right? Oh, thank you, QL. You have to go to the Play Store to deactivate. Thank you. I've been driving myself crazy trying to get this thing deactivated. Again, it's only $6 a month, but it just, oh, every time I see it on my bank statement, I'm like, I'm gonna be 80 and they're gonna have like $3.2 billion out of my bank account for something that I don't even know what TV it's on. So thank you so much, QL. Anyway, you guys, listen, let me get out of here. Thank you so much for joining me for this little midnight live. I will see y'all tomorrow. And y'all know when Busby drops his mess, please know I will be right there with them. I will be right there going live to read everything. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.